New figures reveal that not only is Scotland the worst life expectancy in the UK, which is just crazy, but we now are the worst in Europe, in Western Europe. That means come to Scotland, you'll die younger, right? Now, what's surprising about the figures I'm just going to show you is we've always been kind of worse than the rest of the UK, right? But the gap's widening. This year it's widened more than most. And we have actually seen years where we have had declines in the life expectancy. Now that should be almost impossible as a government unless you're at a war. But the SNP have managed to do it. Now, the SNP took over government as a minority government in 2007. Then about 2011, they started getting times where they were the majority government and everything lay with them. Now, the worst times for actual decreases and widening of the gap between the rest of the United Kingdom surprisingly come in the years 2010 to 19. Now, most countries saw some sort of reduction of life expectancy around about 2020, 21, because of whatever was happening in the world at the time. But we managed to not only do it those years, we'd done it in years before that. That's how crazy it is being Scottish. Scotland is mental. Now, the SNP are very, very good at diverting blame for any figures, anything misfortunes of Scotland and Westminster. Now, let me just remind you that health is a totally devolved power. So we die younger. We managed to have more deaths due to drug issues than the rest of Europe. And now we're worse and declining. The gap's widening between the expected life expectancy of Scottish people than our cousins in Northern Ireland, Wales, and indeed England. The buck stops at Holyrood. Because even the other devolved powers, so you could say, oh, we've got, we need more powers. Even the other devolved powers in Northern Ireland and Wales have got better life expectancies than ours. And there's a new figure that I've never seen before. It may not be new, I just might not have seen it before. But it measures your healthy life expectancy. And that's the part of your life where you would expect to have no major illnesses, etc. And it's shocking. So I'm going to start boring you with some facts and figures, but please pay attention. I'll try and keep it as light-hearted as possible, reading out a lot of stats. And I make no apology for actually talking about this, because it's an absolute travesty. And you can blame everybody as much as you like. Do you know who it is that compiles the figures? Well, it's ScotGov. And they take in figures and data from the national records of Scotland and Public Health Scotland. So it's not like you can blame anybody else for these figures and claim they're inaccurate. And you can't claim that we're devolved so we don't have enough powers. Well, we have total power of health. And even if that were true, Northern Ireland and Wales, both devolved powers, are doing better than us on all matrices of how long and how healthy we keep our population. We are actually going to need probably 10 years to cure the problems this mob's created since 2007. They're decrepit. So I'm just going to go through some of the key figures for you. Where are we? I've got a lot of stuff here because I was wanting to learn as much as I possibly could on the topic before making the video. So life expectancy, that's early. That's the average number of years a person is expected to live based on current mortality rates. Healthy life expectancy, that's a figure new to me, that's HLE, measures the years lived in good health without serious illness or disability. In Scotland, these metrics reveal significant challenges. The country has the lowest life expectancy in the UK and the whole of the Western Europe. Aye. We die younger than anywhere else in Western Europe. With stark inequalities driven by deprivation, lifestyle factors and historical trends. Now, I'm going to come to some figures where it looks at regional disparities, and it's incredible. It's literally a postcode lottery how long you're going to live, because a stone's throw from Glasgow to East Renfrewshire can add years onto your life expectancy and the years where you'll be healthy. Now, recent data shows a post-pandemic recovery, but progress has stalled since the 2010s, and the gap in healthy life expectancy are widening. The overview draws on the latest official figures from National Records Scotland and Public Health Scotland, released in December 2025, because I believe that National Records Scotland do the life expectancy figures and Public Health Scotland do the healthy life expectancy figures. So what are the figures? Now, the most recent data, there's a slight increase year on year after COVID, returning to near pandemic levels. However, Scotland does lag behind the UK average in Western Europe. So the life expectancy for somebody born today, if you're a man, is 77, and if you're a female, 81. Now that has went up 18 weeks and 14 weeks, males and females respectively, since the year before. And the gender gap narrowed a wee bit to just under 4 years of difference. So life expectancy at birth, this is for people born 2021 to 2023, is 60, healthy life expectancy. And so 59.6 for males and 60 for females, so it's almost identical. So any kids born in the last, 2 to 5 years can expect to get to 60 without many major health issues. That's a 10-year low. That's mental. So males will now be 22% of their life poorer in health than they were 10 years ago, and 26% less for females. So these figures can't be new, they're just obviously new to me. And what you're going to spend with years in ill health, so from getting some seriously nasty stuff wrong with you to dying, you can expect 17 and a half years as a male and 21 years as a female. It's just frightening, absolutely frightening, these figures. Now, here's a scary bit. These figures mean a newborn baby today can expect to live about 4 years less than kids born in the early 2010s. That's boys. And there's similar figures for girls. So since early 2010s, which ties in really neatly to when the SNP had total control of the Scottish Government, we're dying 4 years earlier. Make that make sense. Please make that make sense. So, historical rise. Life expectancy did increase steadily from the 80s through to the 2010s. It was driven by reductions in heart disease, smoking bans, and better healthcare. Then we had stagnation and decline through the 2010s and 2020s, where progress halted around about 2014, with a dip during COVID, obviously. But by 21 to 23, life expectancy was 76 for males and 80 for females, which was below the pre-COVID levels. But there has been a recent recovery, but the healthy living expectation years has fallen. And that's bonkers. Total bonkers. So, I mean, there's loads and loads of stats here. Google it, have a look yourself. One of them that really blew my mind, from most deprived areas, your average life of a male is 69. And in the least deprived areas, the better areas, is 82. So there's a 13 gap. Now, the worst area is Glasgow City. And East Renfrewshire is the largest. So you go for life expectancy in the whole of Glasgow, so you get loads of different, demographics there. The average in the whole of Glasgow is 74 for a man, and just under 82 in East Renfrewshire. So you get 8 years more by moving about 2 miles south. Some people in Glasgow are a stone's throw at their neighbouring borders, Glasgow and East Renfrewshire. East Renfrewshire, for those who don't know, is to the sort of southwest of the city. Bonkers, isn't it? And the factors are poverty, we don't have a load of people at work, we have a bigger dependency in benefits than a lot of other areas, and we still cannot put our finger on solving the drug death problem. But welcome to the SNP Scotland, where you die younger and have less healthy years than the rest of the UK and Western Europe. If you want others to see the video, click the thumbs up, put your comments below and hit the share button. If you've not already done so, double check if they think you have and hit the subscribe button, if you haven't. But more important than all that, unless you're the type of government that manages to kill, best rephrase that, could end up arrested, that manages to reduce the life expectancy during the time that you have totally controlled the health of Scotland, then not you. But everyone else, have a great day. Cheery bye now.